evening and thanks for joining us for Newswatch Sunday. I'm Nika Lewis. Here are our top stories. A security guard is dead while a cop is battling for his life following gun battle with criminals. Bankers to meet with legislator over controversial bank fee recommendations. And the Contractor General tells the country to expect his report into thorny debushing program. Also coming up is Sports Watch, Weather Watch and Inspire Jamaica. Do stay with us. After the break, I'll have the news in detail. Thanks for staying with us. A special welcome to you on the internet at cvmtv.com, and we also remind you to download the CVM TV Smart app from the Google Play Store. A police sergeant was shot in the head after responding to reports of the murder of a security guard and the injuring of two men in Fletcher's Land, Kingston on Saturday, January 28. The security guard has been identified as 39-year-old Asphodel Harrison of Maho Drive, Bridgeport, St. Catherine and Seaview Gardens, Kingston 11. Reports are that at about 11:06 p.m. Harrison was operating a taxi along King Street, downtown Kingston, when a man posing as a passenger pulled a firearm and attempted to rob him. Harrison, a licensed firearm holder, pulled his firearm and challenged the gunman. Both men received gunshot wounds. Harrison then drove to the hospital where he succumbed to his injuries while undergoing treatment. The cronies of the gunman, who were traveling behind Harrison's vehicle in a BMW motor car, attempted to pick up the injured gunman who attempted to escape. However, the police who arrived on the scene thwarted that attempt. A team of officers from the Hunts Bay Police Station intercepted the vehicle on Tower Avenue in Kingston 11, where a shootout ensued. During the incident, the police sergeant was shot in the head and was taken to hospital, where he was admitted in critical condition. One occupant of the BMW motor car was taken into custody and will be questioned in the presence of his attorney with a view of preferring charges. Now, the other occupant abandoned the vehicle and escaped. The gunman and a bystander who were shot during the earlier melee were taken to hospital, where they were admitted in stable condition. One pistol along with a magazine containing 8 9mm rounds was also found on the scene. And a member of the Police High Command says the men and women of the JCF are prepared to defend themselves as well as law-abiding citizens from increasingly brazen criminals. Assistant Commissioner of Police Fitz Bailey says while the ultimate aim of the force is to preserve lives, including those of wanted men, they will defend themselves when confronted. He was speaking recently after officers apprehended a fugitive wanted for a double murder in St. Mary.
We operate a professional police force, and we hear of talks all the while about police using excessive force. And what transpired yesterday is evidence to support the fact that if the police is not challenged with force, we are not going to use force. And we want to appeal to criminals that whenever the police is in pursuit of you, do not challenge us with force, because if you challenge us with force, we are going to use force.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the amendments being proposed to the Road Traffic Act are part of his administration's wide-ranging response to crime. Mr. Holness argues that the changes will help law enforcement identify and arrest wanted men as they attempt to roam across the country.
For drivers to have their driver's license in possession while operating a vehicle. This will ensure that the police can identify drivers and confirm that they are allowed to operate the vehicles being driven. This will further facilitate police apprehension of wanted persons.
Of additional concern to the government is the void created in families and the labor force when persons are killed in road accidents. Hence the move to update legislation governing the roads. So far, over 20 Jamaicans have died in car crashes for 2017.
The bill allows for disposal of seized or abandoned vehicles where owners cannot be located. The court may now order driver retesting for repeat offenders. This will allow the court to remove habitual offenders from the road until they undergo driver retraining based on a program approved by the Island Traffic Authority.
Now, a constable assigned to the St. James Division was injured by a motorist on the Bogue Main Road in St. James on Saturday. This occurred after the motorist disobeyed the signal to stop given by another police officer in Hanover. The driver, who is from Green Island, Hanover, has since been hospitalized under police guard after attempting to hit another officer with the motor car and was subsequently shot and injured. Reports from the Montego Bay Police are that at about 5:45 p.m., two constables were on duty in Hopewell District, Hanover, when they observed a green Toyota Corolla motor car driving in a careless and dangerous manner. One of the officers signaled the driver of the motor car to stop. However, he disobeyed and proceeded in the direction of St. James. The vehicle was pursued by the team, who also sent out an emergency alert to have the vehicle intercepted. A unit from the St. James Division responded and a vehicular checkpoint was set up along the Bogue Main Road. The driver again disobeyed a signal to stop using the vehicle to hit the officer. He proceeded to run over a second officer who discharged his firearm in defense of his life. Both injured men were taken to hospital, where the constable was treated and the man admitted in stable condition. The motor vehicle was not insured and his fitness was expired. The driver will be questioned in the presence of his attorney, after which he will be charged. Member of Parliament for South St. Catherine Fitz Jackson will be meeting with the Jamaica Bankers Association to address concerns raised by bankers in relation to the bill he initiated in Parliament to amend the Banking Services Act. Since the bill was tabled in Parliament on Tuesday, some concerns have been raised about aspects of the bill which relate to banking fees on depositors. Mr. Jackson says he will be meeting with the bankers to hear their concerns, but he remains committed to ensuring that the interests of the depositors are protected. The further consultation is to ensure that while the bill protects the interest of depositors, no unintended effect on the banking sector occurs. The meeting, which will take place at the Parliament on Monday, is expected to have in attendance the president of the JBA along with the heads of the major banks in Jamaica. Jamaica's international partners, particularly those in the United States, say they have noted the efforts of the Jamaican government to stamp out corruption. The Contractor General, Dirk Harrison, while addressing a private sector of Jamaica gathering recently, outlined measures to the United States Department, believing that those will help to eliminate corrupt practices.
Anti-corruption measures within the police force continue to show encouraging signs following the merger of the anti-corruption branch with a major organized and anti-corruption agency in 2014. It says since the ACB's reorganization with international support in 2008, 538 police personnel have resigned or have been dismissed for corruption.
Now, despite the position of the international observers, majority of locals, according to a recent poll, are not convinced enough is being done to eliminate state-level corruption. Mr. Harrison pointed to the controversial debushing program implemented by the JLP as an example of how trust may be lost. He indicated that a report on the matter will be available soon.
The program was initially stated to cost 600 million Jamaican dollars. But recently, media reports have suggested as much as $800 million. This matter is a subject of ongoing OCG investigation. I shall say no more this time, but I will say when the report is tabled, it will make very interesting reading.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Education, Ruel Reid, is pushing to strengthen the 7-year-old Career Advancement Program with the aim of producing more work-ready graduates. The minister was speaking at the recent launch of the Jamaican campus of the Geoff Haynes Law School. Brian Walker tells us more.
Even with 5 CSEC subjects, math and English now, what are you going to do with that? The employers, and it's a discussion we had in the forum, the employers want trained, certified, with specialized skill sets.
And Minister of Education Roel Reid said the Career Advancement Program CAP, which started in 2010, will be strengthened. CAP provides technical, vocational and educational training and certification for high school graduates aged 16 to 18.
So through our CAP program, we are broadening the opportunities. And frankly, what we're doing is similar to what most of the developed countries have done. We now have to merge this notion of technical and general education. Because, in fact, you need more of your workforce trained and certified in technical education than general education. So we now have to marry the two.
Last year, the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information said it received applications from over 70 training institutions which accommodated students for CAP. And going forward, the minister wants Jamaica to have a vibrant knowledge economy.
And you know, when we look at the fact that we may not be able to compete in terms of manufacturing with our friends in Asia, but one thing I know we can compete as a country is in the knowledge industry. Right, Professor? Because I did the bold thing, you know, when I was in London. And I said to them, if we can produce a Usain Bolt, then I know we in Jamaica can produce the brightest and best professionals on the face of this earth. What they need are opportunities.
I'm Brian Walker for CVM News.
And disaster-ravaged Caribbean neighbor Haiti is set to receive more donations from a coalition of youth ambassadors and advocates locally. The group handed over a check to Food for the Poor recently. Hands and Heart for Haiti, a coalition of youth leaders in Jamaica, were among the most recent to donate to survivors of Hurricane Matthew, which took thousands of lives in Haiti in 2016.
When we went to the Caribbean Youth Leaders Summit and realized how many of us in Jamaica were passionate about helping each other and about helping young people to advance. And after we returned actually the day just before the hurricane hit. It was supposed to have hit Jamaica and it hit our neighbors, Haiti. And right away, the National Youth Council, the NSSC, USTAT, started saying, what can we do? Can we do a drive? Can we do something to help them?
Executive Director of Food for the Poor Jamaica, David Mayer, expressed gratitude on behalf of the survivors who are set to benefit from the group's check.
We're very, very grateful for the donation of the $55,000. The initiative has been going on, as you know, from last year. We actually have an office in Haiti, right, in Port-au-Prince, and it's been a major drive to get the people back from, because as you know, it was the south part of Haiti that got hit, and so it took us almost 2 weeks to get into the area to be able to do supplies. We had an initiative from last year, and we had up to a total of 17 containers of food and clothes that was sent to Haiti.
The youngsters also collected clothing, which they say was rejected by the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM, who only took non-perishable food items, but nothing was wasted.
Out of this initiative, we were also able to do a children's home treat in Christmas because we got some items, as you heard, that we could not donate. And so we were able to do a Christmas treat, and that was also well received. And certainly we'll be looking forward to doing more initiatives. Certainly now it is Hands and Hearts for Haiti, but it might be Hands and Hearts for something else on another day. And rescuers at the Bog Walk Gorge in St. Catherine are this evening dismissing allegations in the media that they are demanding money to save lives. In this report, divers are demanding answers from the authorities, even as they call for safety gear and resources.
If they want to give money, fine. It don't really matter, but the whole rumors about we're getting paid, that's a big lie. So if that is going on, we don't need to stop it.
Sentiments expressed by scores of divers and swimmers who insist saving lives from the depths of the Bog Walk Gorge is by free will and not because of monetary gain.
We're glad to save any life and we can't save it because a life is very hard to come by. We can't create a life. So we're willing to help anybody. But money running, but we're not getting anything like that. We don't know of that. So we're just there doing the thing and we're surprised. We hear say we're collecting money. This someone collect money, everybody collect money, but we don't know of that. So we don't know. So we don't need somebody to explain that to it.
And despite claims that the media have been lied to concerning the divers being paid or demanding payment, they insist saving lives will take some well-needed resources.
we really do the diving. What time a vehicle go down there? Free diving can save the people. I understand I say? Come well chained to them things. And sometimes a vehicle about 5 or 6 persons. So we need a tank. They may agree to give me the tank. So I leave and show the captain for the team. We find out so that thing just messed up. And the people who are managing the thing just find out pay either anything.
He said after leaving the island the same year, he returned in 2016 and received some safety items from persons overseas, but he is still in need of a tank to help with the murky depths. He pointed to a recent accident where a car plummeted and a life was lost, something he said could be prevented if he had a tank.
Tank is the key. You can't free dive in a water that like this. It's deep and like a sea and heavy, strong. You see? So definitely have a tank. That's the key. You know, no boat, nothing at all, just a tank.
And that's the local segment. News from overseas up next. Thanks for staying with us. It's now time for international news. Now, the Donald Trump administration is standing firm over its ban on immigration from 7 countries despite court rulings and mass protests against it. We hear more in this report from the BBC.
To 30 Iranian green card holders. We also have an unknown number of detainees who are not green card holders. They may be people who have student visas, work visas. We haven't been able to confirm whether or not there have been non-green card holders who have been sent back upon arrival at Dulles.
I served in the Army for 5 years, from 2005 to 2010. Some of the first people that were detained at the airport were translators in Iraq. And these are people that put their life on the line, put their families' lives on the line. So now for us to turn our back against them is just not right.
We're going through this. It's really sad because it reminds me of my own country. We left because we wanted to be in a better place. Welcome to the USA. Welcome to the USA. Welcome to the USA.
And that's the news. Still to come, Weather Watch and Inspire Jamaica.
A very good evening, folks, and welcome to Weather Watch. Well, tomorrow is going to be a rainy one. We're actually having that cold front come down into the Jamaica area, and some rains are going to come with that. So if you take a look right now at Jamaica, for the most part, we're dry across the country, but this big blanket of clouds pouring rain over sections of Florida today, and it's inching its way down towards Jamaica. So afternoon into evening, look for rain, and it's going to carry over onto Tuesday as well. Let's take a closer look at Jamaica. So this picture is actually going to be very different by the time I bring the weather tomorrow night, because those clear skies are definitely going to give way to some clouds and some showers. Let's take a look at what's to be expected on the waters. You've got 2-meter wave heights on the, well, more like 1.5 meters, the wave heights on both coasts, and an unchanged 10 to 15 knots on, that's what's expected for your winds. So the lighter rains come tomorrow, the heavier rains on Tuesday, but certainly most places are going to get even a little bit of sprinkling, certainly by Tuesday morning. But tomorrow, Mandeville, Port Maria, Salve, Mobay, you get the heaviest of the showers. Sunrise times, Kingston sees that at 6:41, Negril at 6:47. And if travel takes you across the basin, you're actually going to be seeing, well, out of the basin and over to London, Philly, or Toronto, all of those locales having rains, temperatures in the negative numbers for Toronto, Philadelphia, and also for Boston. Somebody's flying on out of here, and they took a photograph from above looking down at the clouds. Well, still Jamaica, even up there. Thank you so much for that one, Nikoi. Send me more pictures, folks. It's Weather Watch at cvmtv.com. Have a great one.
Thank you, Patria. Now, 2 young girls meet for the first time in this Inspire Jamaica report, not knowing they share something similar that lands them on a level footing more than their differences. It's more obvious than it sounds, and Carlin Brown goes on a limb with them to illustrate.
My name is Rashika.
Hello.
My name is Enika.
With that introduction, a childhood association between a 6-year-old from St. Catherine and a 14-year-old from Kingston seemed a possibility. What they didn't know was that an adventure awaited them and their mothers miles away in Ocheria, St. Anne this Sunday morning. And they were casting beautiful shadows the first month of a new year and walking right alongside them too.
How are you getting around? Good.
This is Enika.
Enika, I'm Andrew.
Andrew.
Nice to meet you.
Hi.
You are tall.
Yes. This is Enika. And this is Enika's mom. Your mom? Yes, Roxanne.
Hi, Roxanne. Andrew.
Step by step, the circle was getting bigger.
Welcome to Mystic Mountain.
What was intended to be a quiet, romantic encounter in the rainforest for Andrew Nelson, who chose Jamaica to propose to his sweetheart, saw his next love sneaking in. In fact, he couldn't keep his eyes off her as their secret came out.
Sort of a reunion, you would say?
Absolutely, yeah. Rashika was back in Minnesota in December, so it's fun to see her 2 months later and see how much progress she's made and getting around, so it's exciting.
All right, so tell me about the initial link-up.
Yeah, so my company back in Minnesota, Limb Lab, it's a prosthetic and orthotic company, and we have a nonprofit organization called Reaching Out on a Limb. And so in February, my bosses came down and they went to Negril and helped 12 individuals over there who needed a prosthetic device. And we heard about Rashika, and she couldn't get over to us over in Negril. So we told them to get our contact information and that we would fly them to Minnesota. So in December, we flew her up to Minnesota, got her a nice hotel, the components were donated by Oser, which is an Iceland company, and then we donated our materials and time to design, fabricate, and fit a new leg for her.
Okay, that is quite commendable. Thank you so much.
By now you realize little Rashika is our newest inspiree, who got a major breakthrough before we met her. So seeing the hands at work, which ensured her independence, makes everyone a witness.
No, the personal touches, where do you fit into all of this?
Sure. So my background, I meet with the patient and learn what their goals are, what they want to accomplish with the use of their device. And through that conversation, then I can design, fabricate, and fit a device that will be best suited for her. So a young, active individual that wants to go to school and run with her friends, we made a prosthetic leg to help her achieve those goals. And then I can adjust it as needed to make sure that she's walking smoothly, efficiently, and safely. So as she grows, her leg will grow and she'll get taller. And so we gave her mom some tools where she can adjust the height as she grows. But probably in a year or two, she'll get to the point where her leg gets bigger and the socket won't fit correctly. So we'll continue following up with her, and I have a feeling this will be every few years we'll be in contact and making a new leg.
What are you doing, Andrew?
Yeah, so right now when she's walking, to me it looks like her toe is pointing like this. So I'm just loosening the screw, and I can rotate the knee and the foot to turn out a little bit.
You see why you're important?
Yeah,
On the spot.
And that's why ongoing care is so important for this profession. As they walk, they gain more mobility, they get more comfortable with the use of the device. It's important that we do follow-up to make sure as she gets more used to wearing the prosthesis,
All it takes is a screw
we can
and a
adjust it.
knife or
Yep,
something?
little tool and a screw, and we can change all that.
Okay. How's it feeling, Rashika?
Obviously curious, our longtime inspiree Enika Thomas, who lost her leg when a car slammed into her while she was on her way to school, was coming into view. With 3 anxious children, as we moved to assume safe-seated position, Enika's little brother with us, there would be no turning back after taking off.
Sky Explorer, up the top we go!
With everyone on the same level now, who would tell that among the dangling feet, two were not like the others? What was important is they were given the opportunity to balance from a different space, a different angle. Their young hearts, having already toughed out pain and anguish, was now exploring a garden from the sky. I'm Carolyn Brown. Join me next time after touchdown and see Rashika and Danica continue to inspire Jamaica.
Sports is next.
Hello, good evening. My name is Wayne Walker. Welcome to Sports Watch Sunday. We start with news on football. Tivoli Gardens, they are top of the Red Stripe Premier League tonight. Starman Jermaine Teddy Johnson bagged a 28th-minute goal for the West Kingston-based club. They beat champions Montego Bay United by a 1-0 down at West Powell. Both teams now on 42 points, but Tivoli are sporting a superior goal difference. And over at the Wembley Centre of Excellence, Jamalco secured maximum points in their game. This against Torino. Tevin Garnett scored a beauty, and minute number 29 was just an absolute wonder goal. UA and Humberland, they had to settle for a point apiece in their game at the UA Bowl. Tennille McKenzie gave Humberland the lead on minute 40. Patrick Brown replied, though, for UA 10 minutes from the end of the game. And tell you what, Portmore United, they secured all 3 points in their home game against Arnett Gardens. The game played over at the Spanish Town Prison Oval. Malik Foster, this is a goal, opening goal for the Portmore United team. We're still waiting on that opening goal because we have all 4 goals in the game. We're just going to give time to get them on. Here's a nicely worked ball down the right. It's going to cross now from Malik Foster to put it in the back of the net. So Portmore taking a 1-0 lead there. And Arnett Gardens, having been thrashed by Waterhouse last week, they hit back with a goal from Leon Strickland some 3 minutes after that opening goal there from Malik Foster. So the Portmore United team celebrating that opening goal. I'm just waiting on Leon Strickland now to get Arnett Gardens back on level terms. Ball worked nicely down the left, turned into Strickland, finishing off for Arnett Gardens. So it was 1-1 at that time. And Portmore United, they need just 3 more minutes to get back on level terms. And the man who got the goal for them, Cleon Price, as the Arnett team celebrate. There's a goal coming. That's the second Portmore United goal. And the ball worked down the left. Here's a cross coming in, and this is Cleon Price with a spectacular goal, fortuitously just going over the goalkeeper's head and into the back of the net. And we have a special item for you coming up from Portmore United. So that's 2-1 at that time. Then on minute number 68, the special item, here it is, Michael Binns, bomb. Wicked left-footed effort right into the top right-hand corner of the Arnett Gardens goal. 3-1, the final score.
I think we played well. I think we played a disciplined game. I didn't like how we started the game, but I think as the longer the game went, the more we got into our own. We started passing the ball around, and it was all of the goals that we scored today. The 2 first goals was a set plays that we did in training, you know. So it's good to see that the team is grasping. They are playing better. They are enthused, and the discipline in the team is great.
It's another battering that, you know, we got today. I mean, the game was very physical, and this is something that, you know, we as coaches need to understand. It's not about the physical, it's about the beautiful game in which we're not seeing it at the Premier League level. You know, it is always, you know, the physical aspect of the game. You know, teams are playing at this time. Not to take anything away from the Portmore team, you know, Binns has scored an excellent free kick from about 35 to 37 yards, but, you know, it's not a game that you can talk about.
We draw too many games, you know, so it's a plus for us today, and it's time for us to go on a streak, you know. It's a good start for the round, and I hope we can continue on this trend. I think we look well today, we're playing good, and we just have to continue. It's a first for a long while, been scoring 3 goals in a game, so it's a plus in the attacking department, but we are still giving up goals, so we need some more work to.
And from the Prison Oval to Barbican, host Boys Town and Marvelly, where they left it late in their game, they shared the points. The game appeared to be heading for a 0-0 draw, but 2 goals in 2 minutes ended a very exciting contest as both teams earned a share of the points. Marvelly took the lead on minute 88, and just when the Anthony Patrick coach outfit was preparing to celebrate all 3 points, Damien Campbell scored for Boys Town. A minute later, 1-1, the final score.
a little bit disappointed, but, you know, I still consider myself fortunate to leave here with a point. And the team showed some character after going behind very late in the game to a defensive error to find the equalizer. So we have to give credit to the team. They showed some resilience, and we're just going to have to continue to work. The fighting spirit was good today. I don't think that we are being very clinical in front of goal, and we're going to have to work on that.
We should have taken all 3 points, but again, you know, a blatant error again. When you look at the goal that scored, it's just one of those things we just have to continue to work and continue to say we can continue to get 3 points every time we play.
Game finished a short time ago down at Jerusalem Waterhouse, and that's really it's Harborview. They played out a 0-0 draw down at Jerusalem. So Waterhouse and Harborview ended goalless at Jerusalem. It means that Porterhouse and Boys Town, they're still in the 2 relegation spots. And 1-1 scorelines were the order of the day in the Captain's Baker St. Thomas Major League. Played on Sunday. Danvers Penn played against Yallahs, while Delta Forest faced off with Lyson. And in the Magnum Major League in Casafa, Seaview tagged Olympic Gardens 2-1 at Kling Kling. In other games, Whitfield Town, well, they defeated Swallowfield by 2-0. Corville Gardens turned back Stony Hill. Doheny Park edged Constant Spring 2-1, while Malines United beat Med Forest by 1-0. And in the Trelawney Moneymusk Plantation Rams Major League, Harmony stopped Invaders 2-0, while Duanvale edged Spicy Hill by 2-1. Some cricket news now. The Leeward Islands Hurricanes ticked off their 3rd victory from as many games in the regional Super 50 cricket competition a short time ago. You know what? They defeated comprehensively the Windward Islands Volcanoes by 184 runs, and this was at Coolidge Ground in Antigua. The brilliant Kyron Powell slammed a massive 135 to help the Hurricanes to 333 for 6. Raheem Cornwall 70 and Monsignor Hodge 53 also weighed in with good scores against Liam Sebastian 3 wickets and Carl Mayers bagged 2. In reply, the Volcanoes could only muster 149 all out in 29 overs. Mayers 44 and Darren Sammy 37 were the leading scorers against Alzari Joseph 6 wickets. Over at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium, also in Antigua, Ken Spitfires made light work of the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, beating them by 5 wickets. Avon Thomas 4 for 54 bagged the most wickets as Kent, as they dismissed the Red Force for 193. And in reply, they raced to 194 for 5 in 36 overs. Sean Dixon led the way with a half-century. St. Anne Orchids crowned themselves 2070 Netball Jamaica Berger Elite League champions. The Orchids, who lost to Game 1 of the best-of-3 finals by 14 goals, won Game 2 on Thursday by 19 goals and secured the title for the first time with a 12-goal margin on Saturday night at UTEC. After the teams went scoreless for the first 2 minutes, the Hummingbirds scored 3 straight goals and led 6-3, but the Orchids went on a 7-2 run to close the quarter, leading 10-8. The Orchids, who were playing in the finals for the first time, dominated the second quarter, led by national player and wing attack Shanice Beckford, goal attack Simone Forbes, and the towering Sabrina Spence. They outscored the Hummingbirds 16-7 and led 26-15 at the break. The Hummingbirds played much better in the third quarter, outscoring the Orchids 11-8, but still trailed 34-26. The Orchids returned to their running game in the final quarter, which was the highest scoring of the game. They scored 15 goals to the Hummingbirds 11 and went on to win by 12, 49-37, the final score for coach Janet Guy.
It's a very proud moment for myself, Sean Murdoch, and the 10 players we had. I mean, you know, we worked hard all season long. I mean, it was tireless legs, sometimes painful bones, painful muscles, but the ladies went out there and they played. They played hard tonight. We made errors, but they came back and they bounced back and played the game well. And I'm very proud of them. Sabrina Spence, awesome player. She hardly misses. And when she misses, she fought back. I mean, she takes the correction from her teammate, which was good. But, you know, it's a awesome set of ladies. My supporters came out and they supported us well, and I'm happy for that too.
Like Coach Guy, captain and goal attack Simone Forbes was playing in the league for the first time. She was near perfect with 10 goals from 11 attempts.
This season, Game 1 wasn't for us. I mean, we didn't show up, but we decided that 2 and 3 has to be for us because we worked very hard. All the teams have, because they're all 8 great teams. But we knew that we had the goods to win, and so we decided that, hey, guess what? If it is that we're going to commit and put everything off that we've had to do, then we have to go all the way, and we did that. And I must say congratulations, hard luck to the Hummingbirds. They played very well. But congrats to my teammates because they did a fantastic job and I'm very, very proud of them.
Goal shooter Spence, who scored almost 300 goals in her last 7 games, led the way for the Orchids with 39 goals from 44 attempts. She also shot over 90% in games 2 and 3 of the finals in leading the attack for the Orchids.
Oh my God. My playing is just mental. I have to keep playing hard and tough. And I'm proud of myself.
And the Hummingbirds, who won the title in the inaugural season back in 2014, was playing in the final for the 2nd time. They had only themselves to blame, missing 17 of their 54 attempts on goal, with Tristana Harwood leading the way with 31 from 41.
Well, I mean, it was a bit challenging. I mean, tonight our kids really came out strong. I mean, the defenders were doubling up on me, so it was a bit challenging for me to get the ball. I had to fight. And my goal attack needed, you know, to clear and give more space, because when the two of them was doubling on me, like, she needed to clear and give space. But apart from that, I think that we didn't play to our full potential, but such is life.
Their worst of the season. On Saturday night's 12-goal loss in Game 2 was the Hummingbirds' 2nd worst of the season. And for once, the head coach, Marvin Anderson, was at a loss for words.
I am happy with the results. I mean, we wanted to win, but as it was, we didn't get the win. I don't really blame anybody. I think the ladies fought. Coming from 12 down at halftime, it was always an uphill task. We tried, but we came out on the losing end.
We're proud of our performance in the sense that we're at the finals. That's what counts. And I mean, they wanted it more because the two previous years, they were at the bottom of the table, so they really needed it more. And I mean, kudos to the opponents. They played a well-fought game, and I mean, my team just needed to play a bit more stronger. And you know, I guess we just lost it in the last quarter.
And the Elite League is being sponsored by Berger Paints for the 3rd straight year, and marketing and development manager Casey Peru was among the large crowd who watched the game.
No, for me it was an excellent league this year. We really saw where the teams came out and they gave it all. And also we're very happy in terms of the support we got in terms of the patrons coming out. We saw where the St. Ann Orchids, everywhere they were, you had this sea of purple behind them. And we want, that's the kind of spirit that we want behind the Berger Elite League. So it was really good all around.
I think it was really exciting. I really am happy for the level of play. The quality was very high. The competition was exciting and entertaining.
And we're up at a break on Sports Watch Sunday. Come back.